This is the Veteran Woman Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to empowering, inspiring, and encouraging veteran women to overcome their struggles and celebrate their successes. Now, here's your host, the one and only Airial Renal.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the official launch. I am so nervous, everybody. So I'm just going to give a confession. Anytime I do Facebook Live, I'm nervous as all get out. So that's my disclaimer. But welcome, everybody, to the official launch of the Veteran Woman Podcast and the Veteran Woman Movement. Today, I have with me Scott Doucet, who is my producer,
consultant,
coach, a little bit of everything podcast.
A little bit of everything. Yeah.
He's been a godsend because we originally talked about virtual assistants, and then he told me about his production stuff.
I still haven't hired an assistant.
And I was like, yeah, I need you in my life because everything that was holding me up from actually launching a podcast, you do the editing, the show notes, just everything. So thank you so much, Scott. And thank you for doing this Facebook Live with me.
No problem. I'm excited. I have no idea what I agreed to or what I'm walking into, but I'm happy to be part of it.
So from your point of view, because you have been podcasting for 2 or 3 years?
Yeah. It's been since 2015, April of 2015.
So going on 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're in 2017. I got distractions in the background, y'all. So if I'm looking up, that's my distractions. And Scott, are you looking for your rabbit?
Yeah, I feel like it's eating something it shouldn't be eating, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when this is over.
So welcome, everybody. In case you don't know me, I am Airial Renal, founder of the Veteran Woman and certified life and veteran development coach. And welcome. I love interaction, so please make sure to type in the comments your questions about the podcast, your questions about the Veteran Woman Movement, any suggestions you have about the podcast, all that good stuff. So, Scott, I'll let you start and just tell about... See, I'm going to get my Canadian accent in there about the podcast from your point of view, because this is my very first podcast.
Yeah, well, it's funny because you actually think you're worse than you are at this. And you could tell when you listen to your pre-talk and post-talk with the guests, because no one else gets to hear that stuff. I am lucky enough to get to hear that stuff. But, like, you will literally get into giggle fits. Like an 8-year-old who finds something hilarious in church or in school and can't stop laughing. Like, you get that bad. When
you aren't supposed to tell all.
Well, you said you were nervous. I'm gonna break the ice here. But, like, it's a lot of fun to listen to that stuff because it kind of helps me connect to you as a host and kind of what you're going through. But I notice it immediately comforts your guests, because they kind of come down to a place where they're like, okay, this is a little more laid back. It's a little more fun. We can laugh. We can joke and stuff like that. And so your guests, in the little bit of pre-talk time you have, by the time you hit record on the mics, you and your guests have already laughed, joked, broken the ice. And that's an uncommon thing for some shows, because some people, they get right into the interview and it's cold and it's serious the whole time. But your show is a lot more fun because you typically crack up before the interview about something. So
about 10 minutes worth of cracking up.
It helps. It makes it fun for me too.
Because lately I'm like, okay, Scott, start here. And then we'll get quiet. And then we both start laughing.
One way you can avoid that, though, is to do the count-in.
Huh?
If you do a count-in instead, 3, 2, 1, it typically relieves that tension. But Scott, start here. And then you both go silent, and then it's followed by uproarious laughter. So.
I'll try to 3, 2, 1, but it's still probably going to be laughing.
It's been a lot of fun because, just a quick disclaimer, background, whatever. I'm a military brat. My dad was an MP. my stepfather served infantry for 30 years, and my mom was in the reserves for a while, and my dad's second wife was Reg Force. And
wow.
so, yeah, like I come from military. That's pretty much my background. And so when, my dad got out of the service, he had some stuff go on with surgery, medical stuff, and he had to be discharged. And he's been going through some stuff with the legalities, with the processes and procedures, and he's been having a really hard time navigating anything. So when I got on the phone with you about the virtual assistant stuff, I was just kind of blah. Here's what I need. Here's what I'm looking for. I don't know how to do this. Like, where should I start? And then you were like, well, what are you doing it for? And then I told you what I did, which, by the way, like the reason why it's everything you said, like people need, and that was your biggest hang up. That's why I started this business. There's a lot of really good podcasts out there that aren't happening because the people don't want to learn the mechanics of it, So when you told me what your show is about, I immediately resonated. It was something that I wanted to work on, yes, but it was something I wanted to be a part of more. And then as I started hearing the interviews roll in and listening to the veterans tell their stuff and listening to the coaches talk about some of the stuff like, stress, just the various things that they're going through, how to pretty much navigate everything. And whether it's coming from a veteran or coming from a civilian, it all kind of serves the same greater purpose. So as I was listening to it, it just became more inspiring. So like, there are some shows, like disclaimer, there are some shows where I'm like, oh man, this show's got to go out on Wednesday. Like, I don't want to work on that this week or ever again. But with your show, like I released one episode and I'm already looking forward to putting out the next episode. And to me, that's when you listen to podcasts all day long and something sparks you and you can't wait to hear it again, that it's a bit of a big deal.
And that means so much to me, Scott, because when I started with it, I'm like, okay, I'm doing a podcast, but I've never done one before, and I really don't listen to podcasts. But I really, really had a pull to do it because I wanted to do something where people can voice their opinions, voice their struggles and successes, and not worry about being all political with it or being all uptight with it. So we can laugh and talk about whatever, even if it's controversial. And at first I was like, well, maybe I'm like doing too much or, accepting too many different guests or, trying to cast out too wide of a net. But with your feedback, I'm like, okay, it does make sense. It's my purpose is getting relayed like I would like for it to. So that means so much.
You have a challenging niche. I will tell you that. You're trying to connect with veterans, and like I have lived with them. I still don't know how to connect with veterans, so you've got a tough niche. But I find that like whether you're getting the point of view from within the military, from recently retired from the service, from discharged from the service, or from civilians of different walks of life, like you're getting a different perspective, a different point of view, a different ignorance level or knowledge level based on who you talk to. Some people have never even set foot inside a base and don't know what you're talking about. And then other people, they've served 30 plus years and they know exactly what you're talking about. But whenever you're starting to hit on certain subjects, it's universal. And I remember my stepdad telling me that there are times when he and I are talking and I'll say something. I've never been in the military and I'll say something and I say it in a way he's never thought of before. And that is the clicking point for him. So like, I know at first you were worried about like, should I only be talking to veterans? Should I kind of close the gap on the civilian stuff? And I say, as long as it's people are willing to serve the greater purpose and have what you're trying to achieve in mind, interview who you want.
and that's who I'm reaching out to, people who have been pivotal in my life, people who are veterans, of course. And I tell veterans when I interview them, don't even worry about what we're going to talk about, because we just literally get on and have a conversation. And I'm asking them questions and we're just talking. most of the time we're talking about a breakdown and a breakthrough, because that's a big thing. Because I want people to know that, you know, they're not the only ones that go through breakdowns, and that there is hope. Even sometimes that breakdown is what fuels the breakthrough.
That was my favorite part. That's my favorite part of the show, actually. It happens fairly early on. And like, I'm not saying the rest of the show's not good, because they get funnier as it goes, and it gets more interesting as it goes, more in depth as it goes. And, like, there are some episodes when I'm like, oh my God, like, did she just say what she said? Why are you talking about cupcakes now? Like, there's a whole other story going on right now that I want to know. And you guys have moved on to vegan cupcakes. What? But what happened earlier, right? But then as you go, so like the whole show takes on a dynamic. It gets interesting. It gets fun. But the breakdown to breakthrough part is the part I look forward to hearing, because you can hear like your guests kind of open up and get like proud of themselves, proud of the process, proud of the people who helped them through. And even though like the circumstances or some of the situations weren't ideal, like when they talk about the breakthrough, you can hear it in their voice how much farther along they are. Like they're no longer that person from 10, 15 years ago. You know, they're who they are now. And it's just that part in that conversation when their voice rings through, I'm just like, man, that's awesome. Like I love that part of the show.
Love it.
It sucks because like when you do the job we do, and like you've interviewed these people months ago, and like I have worked on these for weeks, like, well, for a month. It's fair to say I've worked on this for just a little over a month. We have known about this stuff for what feels like forever, and we can't share it till today. That's like knowing Christmas is coming and knowing, like listening to the little ones ask for what you know you already got them.
Yeah, true. But we're pumping them out now.
Yes, so now people finally get what I'm talking about.
We have, 6 episodes up right now?
There's 5 and the bonus. Yeah, there's a bonus episode when you appeared on the radio show in Seattle, I think it was. Yeah. It was awesome.
Oh, Atlanta.
It was Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
So that was fun. Thank you. So I think I really want to do, I know we were talking about earlier about doing a contest, because I love giving stuff away. So everybody who's watching this broadcast, make sure to go to the website. So let me type in the website real quick. It's theveteranwoman.com, and you can find all of the shows there. There we go. You can find all of the shows there that me and Scott are talking about. You can find out new releases. A podcast show will be released every Sunday. We'll get some bonus episodes in there as well. So make sure to comment on the show that you like the most, because the show that is the most popular, I will also bring them on a Facebook Live video.
Oh.
So you, the viewers, will be able to ask questions one-on-one, and we can talk more. It's kind of like after the show kind of thing. And you can ask them, the person that I'm interviewing, one-on-one about their struggles or any of the questions that you have about navigating the system or overcoming a breakdown or just whatever. So make sure you put in the comments what you liked about the show and who you want to be interviewed live. So theveteranwoman.com, you can find everything there, including all of the information about the Veteran Woman movement. And again, like me and Scott were saying, it's not just, I know it says the Veteran Woman podcast, but it applies to everybody. Everybody can get something from each and every show.
I am the farthest thing from a veteran woman, and I enjoy the show quite a bit. So.
And he's listening to it and working on it.
Yeah. And that usually, when you work on something, it's usually a little less enjoyable sometimes. No, this show has kept it, the novelty hasn't worn off. It's kept its luster. It's good because it's good, not because it's new, which is nice. I like that. When shows actually stand the test of the production trial, they sound good. They're still interesting after it all. The guests are still into it. Like when you have an hour-long show, it's an hour-long show for a reason. And that's what I love about it. And when you have short shows, they're usually jam-packed, full of good stuff. And I love that too. So it's a good show.
And I don't even know how, like originally I was going to do 25 to 30 minutes, but some shows are longer than that because we really get into some nitty gritty.
Do you see that? Do you see that at all? That is an hour and 4 minutes.
That was Bridget's. Which was originally, an hour and 45 minutes of us talking?
An hour and 45 minutes. So I applaud you
on being able to cut it up. Because, I got on there and started talking to her, and we immediately built a friendship. And I was like, oh, my gosh, you're so amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to keep talking to you.
By the start of the conversation, you were just like, I'm so excited to meet this woman. Finally. Yeah. And then by the end of the conversation, you were involved in her not-for-profits and you guys were collaborating. It's like, man.
I'm ready to meet her when I go to Atlanta, all of that.
That moved fast. That accelerated quickly.
But it's about connections, and I love it. I love it. That's one of the reasons why I love doing this podcast, is just meeting people, because you'll see people on Facebook. You'll hear, I'll read the bios, and you'll hear the bios, and then you get to actually talk to the person and hear the not political, not scripted version.
Yeah.
And usually I'm like, okay, let me read the bio, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now tell me what you want people to know. Tell me from your words.
And to me, that's when it starts getting interesting. Bios are fine and good. I don't even do them on my show. I actually say I don't do bios because anything I can say about you, you can say better. And I go straight into, so tell me about yourself. What's your show about? Because my show's about podcasting. But I feel in your case, the bios fit. It paints a real quick 30, 45-second picture of this person and what they've done and who they are and what they've accomplished. And then they tell the journey of what it took and how it got there. And that is interesting to me. So you get a real quick recap so that you know the weight of the guests that you're about to hear. It's nice. I like it.
Wow, I love it. Thank you so, so much for the encouragement. You just don't realize how much encouragement this is.
I'm just talking about your show. I like the show.
Because like I said, I was just like, I'm doing a podcast. Do you know what you're doing, Airial? No. Why are you doing it? Because I have this pull to do it. And people are asking me, well, who do you want on it? Everybody. And I'll figure out how to frame it so it makes sense, because everybody has a story. And I believe that story is important to tell.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I can honestly say, too, that the guests that you've had on so far, I'm looking forward to the future guests, but the guests you've had on so far.
And you're going to be a guest, right?
I hope so. It'd be fun, I think. I'll know when to start. But what I was about to say is that the guests I'm enjoying, you haven't had to frame it at all. You haven't had to say, this is important because the conversations frame themselves, and I feel like people can just interpret and pull what they need to from every conversation. I enjoy it a lot for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Do I have any questions or any comments from anybody who's watching live? No? We're quiet today. Well, it's lunchtime, so I know a lot of people are probably going to watch the replay. People. I know, right?
There better be questions about the replay.
Yeah.
I got
and
questions.
I will definitely check the replay. Okay, go ahead.
What is your favorite part so far of doing this? What are you enjoying? Why, it's one thing to be why are you starting a podcast? But why are you continuing to invest in it, to go out and put the legwork in it? Because as a podcaster, I know the amount of work that goes into it and investment. What is driving you to this madness? What about this show keeps you moving? Because every one of us has a story, but I want to know what it is about you. This podcast is just it.
So I originally did a telesummit back in June of last year. So that was the first time I started interviewing people and talking. And right then it clicked. I was like, I enjoy this. And somehow, somewhere, something popped in my head about podcasts, because I was like, that's a way for me to continually do this and interview and talk to people. And I love talking to people, and I love hearing other people's stories. I love sharing my story because it's been healing. And then hearing other people talk about how they got over those humps and obstacles in life is healing. And I know it helps other people, even if they don't realize that's what they needed. So that's my why for the podcast. And trust me, I've been nervous. I was supposed to originally launch in like August, September. So that's why I have those episodes that were recorded like in July and August. And I was so nervous, between being nervous and saying, okay, is this going to work? Is it worth it? Am I going in the right direction? Does it make sense? Like all of these questions. And then when you came, I didn't have any excuse for not to get the editing done and all of that. And like I said, it was that constant pull. Airial, you need to put it out. And then the people who I had interviewed, they're like, okay, when are you launching this podcast? When are you launching? So I was like, I need to go ahead and do it. And I thank everybody who has helped me along this journey, who has encouraged me, and everybody who I've interviewed so far, and everybody who I will be interviewing. I'm so looking forward to all the stories and just talking and making friends and connecting with people.
And that shines through when you do your discussions, because I can't even call them interviews, because you basically have full-on conversations with everybody. I don't think I've heard you do an interview yet. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because interviews are just back and forth questions. It's boring. You get into conversations, which is a lot of fun. But what I've noticed is, like, when you and I started talking last October, I want to say it was, maybe it was like September of last year, I didn't know a thing about your story. I didn't really know much about you at all, really. And then we got to talking, like we stayed in touch. And then I didn't learn about you until I listened to this show. That's when I actually learned about you from a non-business point of view and got a little bit of your backstory and heard you, in conversations other than just with myself. And it was really a lot of fun to get to know you like that. And it was very eye-opening to get to know you like that. And I feel like that's part of the magic of the show, is that people who listen to you or listen to your guest, it almost creates this friendship, this amicability, this likability that I feel like I can approach you now and talk to you about things that I didn't think I could talk to you about before, And that whole thing is really interesting to me, because you guys just talk and open up. And like you said, no red tape, no bureaucracy, no screens or filters. You just talk. And it's so real and so nice and refreshing. Yeah.
So, and I have an interview with somebody, I believe, tomorrow. I'm not going to say who she is, but I am you referred me to her. And I'm so excited to hear what she has to say.
If she is who I think she is.
Whistleblower.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She's phenomenal. Her story dropped my jaw the first time I heard it. I was like, that has to suck.
Yeah. But like I told you, I said, I'm all for controversy and just talking about the things people don't talk about, because it's like you have to be politically correct and all that. No, forget that. Tell me how you feel, because the more that we talk about it, the more awareness we bring, and that's when we can make a change as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I love it because, like I said, my life is peppered with veterans, and I am referring them, now that the show is launched, I want to send them all to listen to a couple of episodes, because there's just certain parts in my mind that I think would be helpful for them to hear. And so that's what I'm excited about for your show, is someone's going to resonate with these stories, point it in the direction of someone who needs to hear it, and then what happens? I'm so excited to see just how it spreads, how it grows, because today is day one for your show.
It is.
It feels like it's not day one for you, it's not day one for me. We've been bubbling with excitement about this for a while, but today is day one. Now we get to see the impact. We get to measure the impact from today. And that's why I said I wanted to be a part of it, because I'm excited to see where it goes and how it grows.
I am too. So I have a question. Jason asks, pop it up, because I love this Be Live thing. So why did I start the podcast? I think I kind of covered that. I started it as a way to just talk about ups and downs and talking about getting over obstacles in life and What's funny?
I was just like, she did a telesummit once and really liked the sound of her own voice. And
No, I do not like the sound of my voice. Trust me.
I'm playing with you. I am just bugging you.
But just sharing stories. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it's a way the people who have coached me and who have been important in my life and who have helped me get over obstacles, that's my way of sharing them with the world and my friends and everything too. Because like Tim, he was one of my coaches. And so he was one of the first of the launches. And he really pushed me to do the podcast. And I appreciate him for that. And just all the life coaching that he did for me and stuff. And so I get to share him with, you know, the audience, you and your stories from all the different backgrounds, from have veterans in your life and just being a podcaster, being a person, just whatever. So that's why I bring people on, just to share. And I get to share my friendships with everybody and stuff, and build friendships and build networks. Love it. I love it.
That's a good answer.
Not that I'm trying to be Oprah or anything, but I love it.
That's a good answer, because some people are like, I really wanted to make money. And I'm like, oh, stop. Like, stop.
No, it's not. It's not about the money for me. However, I will put in a plug right here. If anybody, it does cost to keep the show going, because I do have to pay Scott. I do have to pay podcast websites to keep the podcast going. If anyone is interested in supporting the mission, you can find out that information on theveteranwoman.com under podcast and become a patron or advertise with us or become a sponsor. So there's different ways to help support the show and keep it going. The main thing I love is feedback. I really, really love feedback. So let me hear what you like, what you don't like, what you want more of, who you want to hear from, all that stuff.
I love that you've followed up with feedback. It's so important. Feedback. It's so important. And like, that is how we know.
Yes.
If we're making a difference or not, if the show is making a difference or not. So.
Yes. And then, I mean, because I want people to look forward to listening to the podcast. Like, ooh, this person is, my friend is on, or ooh, I'm going to be on, or I want to hear from this person. So I want to hear this story, or I want to hear about how to get through this or navigate this. So that's why I'm like, feedback. If nothing else, feedback.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
The most important thing for me. And that's worth more than money to me.
I was going to say, people go out there and pay to get feedback. So,
so another question Jason asks is, what do you expect to get out of doing your podcast? I think I answered that too. Feedback.
Feedback, lots of it.
Feedback, and to help others share their story, to help others realize that they're not alone. And because I'm a big mental health advocate, veteran advocate, suicide awareness advocate, just all of that stuff. And that's my biggest thing, is to help others.
I've noticed it already, is connection. The relationships you're building. In an hour and 45 minutes, you went from not knowing a woman to like getting invited to go hang out with her in Atlanta and get involved with what she's doing. Like, the amount of growth as a person and as a professional, and just the relationships that come about. Like, I think your podcast is going to do some pretty amazing things for you and the people around you and the people who you approach for the show. And just, it creates a lot of warm vibes from a listener's perspective, like just seeing how it's going.
Thank you. Okay, another question. Thanks, Jason, for being supportive and asking questions. So, can anyone be a guest on my show? Yes, anyone can be a guest. If you are a coach, a photographer, just anybody with a story, which is everybody, can be a guest on the show. I do have a show flow. I love air quotes. I do have a show flow to kind of frame it if we both get on the line and are like, what to say next, but that's more than likely not going to happen.
I don't think it will,
because it's truly a conversation. It's me getting to know you. If nothing else, we'll get to know one another, and it works. especially if we're talking about a breakdown and a breakthrough. That's like the major theme of the show. So anybody can be a guest. And if so, how do they do it? Oh, and if you're a veteran, I mean, just fill out the form to be a guest, because we have our own language as veterans, and whatever comes out of your mouth is going to be relevant to other veterans. So I don't care what comes out of your mouth. If you curse, you curse, just whatever. If you're mad at the world, that's fine. That's your point of view. And I want to hear it and I want to share it because it's important. So how can you be a guest on the show? Again, go to theveteranwoman.com. That's where you can find and do everything when it comes to the Veteran Woman and the Veteran Woman podcast. So go to theveteranwoman.com, and under podcasts, it will have a form that says be a guest. And that's where you can get on my calendar. If you want to talk before then, you can definitely find me on Facebook or on social media and send me a message. My phone is talking to me, sorry. And send me a message and find out, more of what we talk about. But trust me, it's very laid back. I'm a laid back person, and the message will get across. The people who need to hear the message will hear it. So
I have another question for you. You mentioned a contest earlier, and you were so vague about it. And now you've got me curious, because I didn't know there was going to be a contest until we got on the line, and you were like, you know what? I'm giving shit away. So I was like, okay, what are we giving away? What are you giving away?
So right now I'm thinking about, because Visa gift cards, you can buy anything you want, right? Mm-hmm. So $100 Visa gift card, I'll have 3 layers. Yeah, I know. $100 gift card, Visa gift card, a $50 Visa gift card, and a $25 Visa gift card.
Now, I know I'm not eligible to enter.
$175 worth of stuff, huh?
I said, I know I'm not eligible to enter. I can't play. I'm against the code of conduct already. So how? Really? Probably.
Are you?
Probably.
Says who?
I already take enough of your money.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
But,
Good point.
So if someone wanted to jump in and win some cash, how do they go about?
So I will, definitely subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe to our mailing list, which you go to theveteranwoman.com. And at the very bottom of the page, you will see where it says join our mailing list. Definitely do that. And I will send out emails about ways to get points for the contest. The contest will go through, what is the last Monday of the month? Let's run it a good 3 weeks. So through March 27th. Yeah, nice. We'll run the contest. And hi, Amy. Hello, welcome. Thanks for jumping on. Yeah, so different ways to get points is feedback. Again, feedback. Letting me know that you subscribe to the show. If you want to subscribe on iTunes, if you're on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, I'm on those too. But my main thing is activity on my website, so I know what you want as far as the podcast goes.
Beautiful.
But I'll be sending that out. So make sure to join the mailing list at theveteranwoman.com. Scroll to the bottom and you see where you can join the mailing list. And all the contest rules will go out to people on the mailing list. So again, that's $100 Visa gift card, $50 Visa gift card, and $25 Visa gift card. And of course, I love giving stuff away, so I probably come up with a lot more between now and the 27th of March.
Love it.
So Jason asks, how often will I be live, weekly or monthly? So the podcast is released every Sunday, and you can download the new episode, again, on theveteranwoman.com. It's easy to find. And you can also see show notes there. If I get a lot of people who want the whole show transcribed, I can do that too. If you're a reader more than a listener or a Cliff Notes. So just let me know. Again, it's about feedback. And I will be going live monthly. That's my plan right now, to go live monthly with whoever is the most popular podcast from that month.
Oh.
I will do a live interview. So
I like it.
With that person. So the people on Facebook Live can ask their own questions to that person, and we can do some extra talking and getting to know the person. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that. It's nice to create just a place where your guests can reach out and actually get to know people. I love it. People say technology is making communication hard, but I find it's actually making it a lot easier.
It's making it easy. I guess it depends on how you use it too, and how you take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I want you to be able to, give yourself a plug and everything. So tell me what you have going on, because I know you're releasing stuff and you've got stuff going on. So I want to support you in any way I can, other than giving you my hard-earned money.
You're one of the last people who are allowed to do that, actually. I have put a cap on the amount of production I'm doing, because I'm finding myself at the computer more often than I thought I was going to be, which is okay.
It's a lot of work.
It's a good problem to have, though, but I am tapped out on production. So I'm not accepting any more production services at the moment. However, I know a lot of really good producers. If anyone needs the service that Airial has gotten from me, I'm referring to a few really great producers as well. So if you want to start a podcast, but you're afraid of or don't want to do the amount of work involved, just reach out to Airial and we'll make a connection for you. But if you do want to run your own show, I'm releasing a podcast mega site, basically. I'm calling it Podcast Bay, and the preliminary site's live. It's podcastbay.net if you want to go check it out. But that is going to be chocked full of goodies, from mailouts, monthly mailouts, to online content. There's going to be Facebook community involved. There's going to be a lot of bits and pieces to this website. So feel free to go check out podcastbay.net and learn some tricks of the trade. Run your own show and have fun with it.
It's a lot of fun. It's a ton of fun. I'm so glad I became a podcaster.
It really is.
I've met so many people already, and I know it's just so much more to come.
If you're into sound engineering, it's a blast. But if you're just into networking, connections, and all of that, it's so big just on that level. So there's so many things you can learn. Right.
Okay, so let me plug mine again, theveteranwoman.com.
There are 5 episodes up there right now waiting for you to go listen.
5 and then the bonus.
Yeah.
So I always say 6. Okay. Yeah. Theveteranwoman.com, you can find everything there. You can find out how to support the show. You can find out the guests that are there and how to connect with them. You can provide feedback. You can become a sponsor. You can advertise. You can find out more about the Veteran Woman Network, which is our mastermind, which will be officially launching in April. And that information is under Network tab and events. So everything the Veteran Woman is in that website. If you want to get in touch with me about coaching, I will eventually put that on the website too. But you can just reach out to me. You can send me a message under contact us on theveteranwoman.com. I do one-on-one coaching. If you want to get in touch with Scott, send me a message and I can get you in touch with Scott. But I'm greedy. He's my producer. I'm so glad I got in when I did.
The content of the show had a lot to do with it. I will say that. I only work on shows now that I love. So.
And I've loved working with you. Thank you so much. And I look forward to working with you in the future. So if I don't have any more questions, I will end this broadcast. What? Oh, hold on. I have another question. Do you give advice on different subjects on your podcast, or is it specific to certain subjects? What is your area of expertise? Ooh, very good question. Yes, I do give advice. So I may do a couple of solo shows. I'm not sure. I don't like just hearing myself talk. And usually my Facebook Lives are when I do more of coaching and advice giving. My subject areas are anything mental illness, from depression, anxiety, PTSD. Personally, that's what I I coach people through it. I'm not a therapist. That's my disclaimer, but I work with people who suffer from that to let them know that there is hope, because I've gone through that myself. I also help veterans with starting businesses, especially like online businesses or freedom, location-free businesses like what I have with my coaching business. Because I have had a lot of people ask me about that. So I'm like, hey, I'll give you what you asked for. And I also have an accountability group, which is running right now. So if anybody needs to gain clarity, set, smart goals and actually be held accountable and get the stuff done, the accountability group is called Get It Done. So we just get it done instead of procrastinating and find out what's holding us back and, just get it done. So those are some of the things I have going on, and I will post more about that. So the other question is, so do I do individual coaching as well? And how does someone get a hold of you or me for that if they want to coach? So yes, I do individual coaching. I do one-on-one coaching. I do VIP days for people who want to set up their business, because I do have a background in like web design, multimedia design. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've always loved entrepreneurship. And then I have a network of entrepreneurs with me as well. I leverage that network and my friends and my coaches to help other people build their businesses. For my VIP day, that's when we get together and just focus on building that foundation. So from branding to getting the website up, your social media going, and some of the basics to the business. I do that. And then one-on-one coaching is pretty much life coaching and anything veteran development. So if you're a veteran, anything education, entrepreneurship, or just career, whatever you need to move along. If you're not a veteran, I still work with you as well. I do have one young lady who I'm coaching. She's in an accountability group, and we're doing one-on-one coaching, and it's just helping get over life struggles. Jason is really asking a lot of questions.
How long did you serve? What branch? What did you have for breakfast? What do you take in your coffee? Tea, Jason.
But it's good. Tea. It's good prompts. It's reminding me of stuff to say. So I served 12 years in the Army. There you go. That's the answer to both questions. I served 12 years in the Army as a multimedia illustrator and information technology. So I'm a closet techie. I'm a nerd. Also, sexual harassment and assault victim advocate, which was near and dear to my heart. All right. And to find out more about me, my bio is on theveteranwoman.com, or you can also go to coachairial.com. All right. So Scott, do you have anything else?
I just want to encourage people to go check out the website and win some money and leave feedback. Feedback.
Oh, that money. So can I get a discount on services so I can pay everybody this money?
Put me on the spot, Airial. I'm just gonna say I'm worth it. I'm worth it.
You are. Especially to put up with me. You are.
I love it. No, just go check out the website, check out the shows, and let us know. Does it sound like crap? Are the subjects boring? You're not going to hurt our feelings, but I dare you to find something bad to say about the show.
Thank you so much.
Find it and tell us, because we want to hear it. But overall, from my point of view, the show's fantastic, but I am biased. She makes me say that.
No, I didn't. Well, yeah, I guess with payment, huh?
No, you said, I need you to show up on Monday and say good things about my show. And I went, that's going to be tough, but I'll try.
Wow, Scott, really? Just tell everything, right?
Well, you had to tell me to show up here. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. No, it's all jokes aside. Amazing show. Tons of fun. Lots of laughter behind the scenes. And it makes for an amazing, amazing show to listen to. So go check it out and enjoy it.
We may need to do like bloopers and all that stuff as a bonus episode every now and then or something.
Keep your files, because you've got clips to sort through. You've got mountains of clips you can use.
I know. So again, if anybody would like to be a guest, again, go to theveteranwoman.com to listen to the episodes that will be released weekly on Sundays, theveteranwoman.com to support the show, theveteranwoman.com. To enter the contest to win a $100 Visa gift card or $50 or $25 or whatever else I decide to give away. Subscribe to the mailing list. How can you find that? At theveteranwoman.com. So all things The Veteran Woman and The Veteran Woman podcast, theveteranwoman.com. So thanks again, Scott, for showing up for me. Thanks again for all your help with actually getting this podcast up and going. Thank you for doing this live with me, because I tell you, I was like terrified.
Thank you for tolerating my ass. That's thank you for that. Just that. That's nice.
Thanks for tolerating me. So again, I'm Airial Renaud, certified life and veteran development coach and founder of The Veteran Woman. And this is the official launch of the Veteran Woman podcast. And I thank you all for sharing this broadcast, for viewing this broadcast, and for viewing the replay. Again, remember, what's the most important thing to me is feedback. So make sure to provide feedback. Let us know what you want to hear on the show, what we need to take out, what we need to add, who you want to talk to, and if you want to be on the show. All right. So signing off.
You've been listening to the Veteran Woman Podcast. If you want to connect with Airial and let her know what you thought of today's show, be sure to head over to www.theveteranwoman.com and follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Veteran Woman.